Travel and Things presents In Conversation With. I'm your host, David Batsoffen, and today I am so privileged to be talking to none other than Bruce Lawson, who has just completed 30,000 burpees in 10 days. Bruce, firstly, congratulations, my friend. I have to admit, on day 2, I thought you were struggling. I thought this is going to be a tough one, but you rocked it home with 27 in the last, as your last burst. Firstly, how are you feeling?
Morning, David. Morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm definitely tired. But yeah, I don't think it's really sunk in 100% yet. I think it will the rest of the day as the day goes on and I'm not doing burpees. I think I'll know that it's definitely finished. But yeah, it was a tough one.
Now, you and I spoke, I think, on the Saturday before you started. Firstly, I can't believe that 10 days has gone past this quickly. I mean, it's been easy for me because I've just been sitting and watching you.
Yeah.
But you've been up close and personal with the carpet in your hotel room in Adelaide for the last 10 days.
Yeah, it's been... My crucifix of pain is still on the floor. I haven't removed it yet.
Talk us through sort of the highs and lows for you, Bruce. But before, in fact, let's backtrack 1 second. Let's go back to what this was all, why you did this to start with, because it was all for this.
Yes.
Or partly for this.
Absolutely, 100%. No, it was all for this, David. It's 100% all for this, all for the burpees for conservation. So Chembo Africa, I was going to raise money for the conservation initiative, and the best way to raise money and the best way to get people's attention is if you throw in a world record attempt at the same time. So that's what the world record attempt is all about. I'm actually not fazed whether I get the record or not. It really doesn't faze me at all. However, more importantly, it's the money that we need for the burpees for conservation. So the whole idea, do you want me to go through the explanation of
please.
The idea? So the whole idea was I'm coming to Australia. I have to sit in a 14-day quarantine period in a hotel room in Adelaide, where you got hazmat police watching you and you're not allowed to leave the room. So I decided rather than sit in the room and get depressed for 14 days, which I can see will be very easily done for a lot of people because there's just nothing you can do. And you've only got these 4 walls as your company. So I decided I would do something positive for this, and there's not much you can do in a small little room. So I decided burpees. Let me do burpees, and we see if we can raise money for the conservation. So being part of Chembo, one of the founding members of the Chembo Africa Foundation, because of the Walk for Hope that we did last year, I decided, let's give burpees a bash. Spoke to the other members and they said, yeah, let's go for it. So this idea was born, and now we're talking early January. This idea was born. I started training on the 1st of January, training specifically for the burpee. So I'm always training, and I've always been a kind of a fit person in a CrossFit sort of way. As in not for any one specific sport or anything, but just an all-round fit person. But now focused on the burpees. So we started training in January. The logistical team guys, they started putting this whole process together, this burpees for conservation. They built the website. They did, I don't know, everything you have to do to sort something like this out. And I just trained for the burpees. And then when we came to to Australia. I mean, it was quite a long flight to get over here and everything. And then in the hotel room, we spoke just the day before, I think we started. And then, and then the Burpees for Conservation Challenge started. And there were a whole lot of people, a whole backup army, which had developed from the Walk for Hope, where a lot of people I've trained and taught over the years, and also who have been my backup for me over the years over the last 30 years of doing trails, and then also guests that I've had, and friends of guests and friends that I've met along the way. They all came into this whole initiative, and they played their part in that. They were going to do a certain amount of burpees. They registered for those burpees, and then they came on board. They got money for those burpees that they did, and every day they would do a certain amount of burpees in consolidation with the Burpees for Conservation to support me, but more importantly, to support the whole initiative and this money that we're raising, because this program is still going on. It's not over yet. Money we're raising is going to GCEF, which is the Greater Kruger Environmental Protection Foundation, for the protection of the Greater Kruger open system, which is a huge tract of land, huge tract of land, and more specifically within that organization to field ranger upliftment, because these are the guys on the ground who are doing all the hard yards. They are doing the graft day in, day out, every day, rain or shine, night or day. They're out there, they're doing their patrols, and they're the guys who are on the front line. They get no recognition for what they're doing, and it's just hard, monotonous work, and very dangerous work as well. So the money that we're raising for this project is going to the upskilling of those field rangers, because with tourism having just fallen apart because of the COVID pandemic, there's not money coming into these greater Kruger wilderness areas because the lodges aren't running. So the first thing that gets hammered is the training, and that's the training of the field rangers. So they just lying dormant. They're not getting any morale boost by doing any courses that uplift them. So this is all for that. So if a ranger needs to do a dog handling course, a canine course, then GCEF say, right, go to that place, it's paid for. There's the money for it. That's what it's all about. And that's what we're doing. And that's where the money is going for. And that's why it's so important that we continue with this project until date end, which is on the 11th of April.
Just a quick question, because a lot of people, when I've been talking about you and about your burpees, everybody asks me what a burpee is. Now, if I was really nasty at this point, I would ask you to move to your crucifix of pain and show me what a burpee is, but I'm not going to do that.
But you're not that nasty person, are you?
No.
No.
I've told them it's a cross between a push-up and a star jump, sort of.
Absolutely, where you got to take the pressure off your hands. So you can't have pressure on your hands, whereas a push-up, you're always on your hands. So this, you've got to actually take that off so your chest lies on the ground. But yes, that's essentially what it is. And people must just Google what a burpee is. And,
I fear language might be used that we'd have to beep if I got you down on the ground. But as they can see from the slide, 30,000 burpees in 10 days. The world record, you were saying to me before we sort of came to air, that you've still got to await ratification of that.
Absolutely. So just to clarify that there is no world record for an endurance burpee contest. The longest is 12 hours. And I looked that up while I was burping. I had a look at what that record was, and it's a lot of burpees in 12 hours. It was 7,680 burpees in
Wow.
12 hours. So
That
that's
is
a
a
lot.
lot.
No, that's a lot. The previous record was 5,400 and something, which, you know, if you're not sore at the end of 30,000 burpees and you're in shape, probably like I am now, to do burpees, it would be attainable. But 7,000, no. Sorry, now I've forgotten what your question was.
No, my question was the world record has to be ratified, and this might take some time. Do they have to, do the Guinness Book of World Records have to go through all the footage? Do you have to send them every minute of every day?
Every single burpee that I've done has to go to them. Otherwise, it does not get counted. And even there, we've got 30,000 burpees over the 10 days. If the record is attained. So if they do give me the record, it might not be 30,000 burpees, because some of those burpees I did were not, I might not have jumped high enough. I might not have stood upright. My arms might have not gone out sideways enough or something like that.
Okay.
So that number may not be 30,000. And they might even say that, no, listen, your form was so bad, it doesn't count at all. Whatever. That's why when I started, I couldn't focus on the world record for myself, because there's just too much here to think about why you're doing it all day, every day. So all I had to think about was that every burpee I'm doing, I'm raising money. That's what I was doing.
That's what it's all about.
That's where my head stayed.
Yeah.
This world record, if I get it, awesome. If I don't get it, as long as we get money, it really doesn't matter.
How many people have joined this challenge, and what sort of money have you raised to date, Bruce?
David, to be totally honest with you, the exact figures I'm not sure about. I do know over 3,000 people have joined the Burpee Challenge, registered. I know there's a lot more who haven't registered that are doing burpees, but the registered ones, it's over 3,000. And I think we are over 40 different countries in the world at the moment that have joined this Burpee Challenge to join it, to raise money. Money raised at the moment, that's a little bit behind. If people go into the Burpees for Conservation website and they see the different graphs that are there, they'll see mine is at 100% because I've achieved my 30,000. The burpees is only at 27 or 28% because there's only, our plan was to get to 1 million. And I think we've only done just over 250,000, I think. And then the one that's the lowest is the money raised. And I think I think we're only at about 160,000 Rand at the moment. I do think that'll go up now that, because people got sponsored per burpee in the 10 days. Other people are starting their 10 days. Some people are in the middle of their 10 days. So now that money starts coming in, because they're going to start rounding up their money because they finished their 10 days, I'm sure that will start increasing nicely. But we are still way, way behind the 8 ball there. So that is why I've pledged to continue burping. Not today, I'm giving myself a rest day, but from tomorrow onwards, I will continue doing burpees until the 11th of April, just to try to keep this initiative going. Possibly get another 30,000 burpees done before the end of the whole project.
But now you say till the 11th of April. When are you able to leave the hotel?
I leave on Saturday. So I get put on parole on Saturday, and then I'm going to be in Adelaide for a while, and then head up to Aqaba Station, which is in the Flinders Ranges, north of here. But I can still do burpees. I don't need lots of time, and I don't need lots of space. I just need a crucifix
of pain. I think I should go in a museum somewhere. I really and truly do. I have to say, some months ago, in fact, it was probably over a year ago, maybe even a year and a bit ago, that you and I were at Makuleki together. And some of the students were playing music into the latter part of the evening. And I remember the next morning at breakfast, you chastised them rather severely for their choice of music and the amplitude at which they were playing it. So I was very conscious of the music that you were playing during your challenge. And I have to doff my proverbial hat to you, Mr. Lawson, because I really enjoyed your music.
Thank you.
You played a lot of reggae, which I really like. You played Country Roads an inordinate amount of time. It's obviously a favorite of yours. And then you sort of blew it all by playing ABBA, because the 80s called and they want their music back. But I should imagine that ABBA, did you have a specific piece of music that when times got tough, and I know they did because I watched lots of what you were doing, in those moments, was there a piece of go-to music that would uplift you again?
David, funnily enough, I actually switch. I'll come back to tomorrow in a second. Mm-hmm. But I actually found over the last couple of days, so day 7, 8, and 9, most of the day I had my music off. So from when I started in the morning right up until almost at the end, I had my music off. So it was, when I say almost at the end, it was probably the last 1,000 burpees that I would put music on, and it would just play in the background. I'm not sure why, but I do know that there's a saying that for people who are going through tough times, they say that if you're in your head, you're dead. But for me, I had to be in my head, and the music was distracting me and taking me out of my head.
Okay.
So I had to be internal. I had to be in my head to be able to push through that period where there was no one watching me. I was on my own, because obviously you guys, I'm just starting my day now, and you guys were going to bed, and then Europe a couple of hours later were going to bed, and America way behind the 8 ball. They're only starting, I don't know, yesterday. So there wasn't this 24-hour period where people were watching me. So that middle of the day was exceptionally tough for me. So my morning from now until 1 o'clock my time, which would be kind of your waking up time, 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5, 6 o'clock your time. That was a tough period for me. So I always put my music off. I opened the doors so I could hear what the city was doing out here. I could possibly see a bird fly past. And I had to just be internal. I had to be in my head just to plod my way through, to bring myself back to the burpee station, rather than putting myself ahead, thinking of the finish, thinking of what I'm going to do after I'm finished and everything. I had to bring it back and say, you're not there. You've got to get to each burpee. Each burpee is a mission on its own. So get through your burpee, look at your form, do this right, do that right. If you put your foot in the wrong place, you're out of form, something hurts. Yeah. So it's a total mind game. And so the music was a big distraction for me when I played the music. But when people came on board and there were more people around and stuff like that, it was almost like I'm not doing it on my own anymore.
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't see anybody or have anything, you were there pretty much 24 hours a day when you were awake, which is not quite 24 hours a day, but you were there all the time when you weren't sleeping, and I would get the messages. You would say to me, slow down, or you're going too fast, or think of comrades when you're coming into the stadium You know, so I always had this interaction, and I specifically put my phone. I put my phone very close to where I would write on the board, where I'd mark my burpees. I had my phone right there, so I could mark my burpees, and I could see on my WhatsApp messages who was messaging me. And then some I'd reply to, because I knew that would be people wanting to talk to me right now, and it was important to reply to them. Others I would reply when I had a longer break.
Yeah.
So that was I'd mark it down, look at, go back, reset, restart. The music was always a bit of a distraction for me in the middle of the day, because I had to come back to that, and there was no interaction on the cell phone, on the WhatsApp messages or anything. Yesterday's music, it was pretty much like that until yesterday afternoon as well. I also only put the music on right in the latter stages, because I was starting to overthink things. Everybody was saying to me, "You're on the home straight now, only a little way to go. You know, you're nearly there. You've nearly got it." And I was like, excuse my French, I was like, fuck, I've still got 3,000 burpees to do. You know, I'm not nearly there. There's still a frigging mountain to climb here before I get to the other side. So that's why, I mean, some of the people, and I feel bad about it now, but I got really short and sharp with them on WhatsApp, saying, hey, back off here. I'm not nearly there. I've still got a hell of a long way to go, you know, and only when I got to 3,000, because I had to do 3,373 yesterday to get to the 30,000 mark, because I'd fallen behind. So when I got to 3,000 yesterday, I generally take a photo of the whiteboard. Every 1,000 I get to, I take a photo and I say 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. When I got to 3,000, I took the photo and I said, under that, I said, okay, now I can almost see the finish line. I can lift my head up now and I can start looking for the finish line. But I still had 300 to go. And then, funny enough, I started thinking about the finish line, and I started thinking, yes, you're nearly there. What now? What now? What now? Bang, and I turned my ankle. I jumped backwards and my ankle turned, and something at the top of my foot just twinged, and my whole ankle just went lame. And I was, oh no, man. But that was just the universe saying to me, hey,
focus.
Wakker, Boetie, kom nou. Concentrate. Get back into it. So I had to walk that off. So that took 10 minutes just to walk that off. And then I had to refocus, get everything back in line, and then concentrate, and then concentrate, and concentrate. And then when those emotions started coming into the whole thing, because that's where it started, I nearly had a breakdown there. So when that started, then I focused completely. I went very quiet. I went very, very focused. And all I did was I focused on that little towel in front of me and exactly where to put my head. Every time I went down, that's where I must put my head. That's where I must put my head. That's where I must put my head. And my mates, my little band of brothers, I call them, was my very, very close mates. I'd formed a WhatsApp group with them beforehand. And I said to them, listen, guys, I want you guys, if you don't mind, to help me get through this, because the times are going to be very, very tough. And I want you to call me out, to tell me when I'm doing things right, when I'm doing things wrong, if I'm off kilter. I mean, these guys are my mates, so they, you know, your mates. They call you out 100%, but then they 100% got your back as well. So I said to them, you must just keep me going. And they did a phenomenal job. And the messages were coming in from them saying, slow down, slow down, slow down, focus. Don't look at your phone. Don't look at your phone. Focus, focus, focus. So that helped tremendously. It was like, Bruce, you've got another 6-7 hours to get through these last 300 burpees. Focus. Just focus. Slow down, focus. You're going to kill yourself. Slow down, slow down. But I just couldn't. I couldn't. I was so focused. I knew what I had to do. I knew what I had in me. So I just had to go. And then all the emotions just came crashing into that last little bit like it. And it was, wow. It was, for me, it was powerful. It was just huge.
I'm going to talk to that in a moment. But what I want to ask you about is the shirt that you went to fetch. Because obviously that shirt is important to you. I thought you were going to put it on at first, but you laid it down. And during the 10 days, I came to realize that you like things to be square. You like them to be just so. And the door to that back part of your apartment was driving you mad. The right-hand side of the door. I noticed you fight with that thing almost every day when I logged on to you. But that's a whole different kettle of fish. But share with me, if you don't mind, the story of the shirt.
Okay, that shirt, maybe I should go get it just so I can show viewers what it is.
Why not?
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
So for people who are just starting to watch this and wondering why I'm talking to myself, it's not that. I'm waiting for Bruce to come back. He's just popped off to fetch a shirt that he utilized in the last part of the challenge, and that looked like it was very special to him. And he took a great deal of care in placing the shirt on his crucifix of pain, as he referred to it. And it obviously is very meaningful to him. So he went off just to go and fetch it. There it is. I would joke and say, I can't see the shirt. And obviously that's why, because it's camouflage.
Absolutely. So sorry, David, carry on.
No, I just coughed. So talk to me about the shirt.
Okay, so David, the shirt, the money we're raising is for GCAF, but it's also for the ranger upliftment, the field ranger, the guys on the ground doing all the hard yakka. So the shirt, when I kicked off the initiative, when I started my first 100 burpees, and the first time I went live, I took off my top and I had this shirt on, because this is why I'm doing it. This is the ranger, the camos that they use in the Greater Kruger in the private sector.
Yeah.
So I put that on. That was just to signify this is why I'm doing it. And I did my first couple of 100 burpees in it, and I really struggled to take it off because it was sweaty there. So that's why I didn't put it on yesterday, because I thought about putting it on. Then I thought, no, I'm going to spend half an hour putting it on because I can't get it onto my body. So I just came and laid it down, and for me, it was a huge moment, because when you watch those, and New Zealand are very good at it, the All Blacks in the rugby, when some sports personality, especially from the opposite team, has passed away or something like that, they come and lay the number as a sign of respect in the middle of the field when they do the haka. So that was kind of my significant moment of, this is why I've done this. And I laid it down there, and I did my burpees on that. So it was a big thing for me.
Now, this was the moment, and I got so emotional this morning, and I can feel it welling up in me now again. So I can only but imagine how you felt. But something that spoke to me of the type of man that you are, Bruce, is there was no fist pumping of the air. There was no, yeah, I've done it. There was none of that. It was that moment. And in fact, I didn't realize that you'd finished until I saw you take off your wristbands and then go into that position. And just stay there quietly. You could have been crying for all I know. There was very little movement of your body. But it spoke to me a vast amount about the type of human being that you are. And what a humble person you are, that this is the moment that you wanted to share. I believe that you wanted to share with all of us. It was not necessarily running around the room. Maybe you couldn't, so this was the easy out. But I think this speaks more to who Bruce Lawson really is than fist pumping the air and screaming how wonderful you are.
Thank you, David. Yeah, yeah, I'm getting all emotional about it now myself, but this was, I think, the first time I actually thought about, this is it, I'm finished. This is the first time I let myself step over the line to say, it's over, it's finished. And I knew everybody was watching. I knew my family was watching. I knew my father was watching, my sister, my brother, my nieces, my nephews, everybody all over the world, wherever they're scattered in the world, they were all watching, from Sweden through to England, through to Afghanistan, through everywhere. I knew everybody was watching. I knew Dee was watching. I knew everyone was watching, and it just, everything,
Yeah.
it was like, this is it. This is what I've worked for unknowingly pretty much my whole life. This is what I have just accomplished. I've accomplished something I said I would do, and nobody believed me. They just said, why 30,000? Are you mad? You'll never do that. Make it 20,000. And I was adamant that I was going to do 30,000. So it was the first time that I could actually go, wow,
Yeah.
you've made it, you've done it. And then I also just thought about, all those hours, all the guys on the ground chasing those animals, the people who want to hurt the environment. I just thought of them, and I was like, wow, guys, just full credit to you guys. Just well done. And it all just came out there. It was all just a huge, huge, huge moment for me. And I'd actually finished way before this. I did an extra 27 at the end there. And I'd finished, and I came to the computer and I wrote on the computer there, and I said, the last 27 I'm doing is for all of you people who have supported me, and I love you all to bits. And I did the last 27. That's why I just banged out the last 27, because I thought, if I stop, I'll never start.
Fall over.
I'm just going to keep going.
I could not believe. I mean, I stopped counting at one point and then couldn't pick up the count again. But I was just stunned and amazed. And I was saying to my wife that at that particular point, you must have dug so incredibly deep to pull those last 27 out. And again, it speaks to the human being that you are, Bruce. That, I mean, you could have done 30,001 and gone, that one is for all of you who supported me. But you picked 27. Why you didn't do 30, I don't know. So maybe I should ask you to go and do the other 3 just to round it off. But for people who don't know how much you sweated, I don't know if people can see, but you took your wristbands off and you put them on the carpet over there. And then you picked them up, and I think you put them up sort of where this kettly thing is, or where the sanitizer is. But there was a wet spot on that carpet when you picked them up. So they must have been incredibly, incredibly damp. And I'm hoping that the hotel laundry was not too hard on you when it comes to washing towels and T-shirts and stuff like that.
There is no hotel laundry. I'm the hotel laundry. So what everything here is it's 100% me. I had to wash everything. I've washed all my own clothes. I've done everything, because once you get into this room, that's it. You don't leave. And nothing you've got leaves either. The only thing they take away is your rubbish. And that's only after the first 3 days. Once your first COVID test comes back negative, then you can put your rubbish outside your door at a certain time, and they come fetch it. If it's not out there at that time, they won't pick it up, and you've got to put it back in your room and make sure it's out there at that time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. So yeah, everything was me. So at the end of the day, I'd have to quickly go wash my kit, hang it outside, hope it dries for the next day. But yeah,
start all over again. Bruce,
yeah, there was a lot of sweat.
I'm going to wrap it up now because you get, obviously it's been a hell of a 10 days for you, and you no doubt want some sort of rest during the course of the day. So for people who still want to get involved, this challenge runs until the 11th of April. Where can they go to register to do their burpees? Because I know of one field guide. It was his first wedding anniversary, and he was busy doing burpees rather than celebrating with his wife. I'm hoping they're going to have a second wedding anniversary. I won't mention him by name. He knows who he is if he's watching this.
I've got nothing to do with that. That's not I'm not taking that on board.
So for people who want to still participate, what do they have to do?
So that's very simple, David. Very, very simple. They can either go to the Chembo Africa Foundation website and just follow the link, and they will come out at the Burpees for Conservation, where they can register, or like my shirt says here, Burpees for Conservation, and you can register straight away there, and you can get your burpees on. We've got until the 11th of April, so we've got quite a few days. Choose a number of burpees you want to do, and every day when you finish your burpees, you register them online yourself, and that goes into that pool, which will increase that number at the bottom over there. But the most important thing, the vital thing is not so much the burpees, it's more the money.
Yeah.
So please get sponsorship for your burpees. Get other people who think you can't do burpees, get them to sponsor you. If you can't do burpees yourself, sponsor somebody who can do burpees. Sponsor me. Here's the big challenge. Am I going to be able to do what I say I'm going to be able to do now when my body is at such a weak state at the moment? Am I going to be able to do 1,000 burpees from now every day until the 11th of April? If you don't think so, put your money where your mouth is.
You mean I've got to get up early every morning again to watch you do on your crucifix of pain?
No, I don't think it's going to be live streamed. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take videos, and I'm going to send videos through like everybody else does. I'm falling back into the backup team, and the leader is now becoming the pusher. So I'm becoming the support now.
Fair enough. Bruce, thank you so much for this chat, and thank you so much for doing this for conservation. It almost feels disrespectful if I say to you, have you already thought ahead to the next challenge? And if you have, don't tell me now. We'll pick this up at some later time. And I'm sure in the back of your mind, you're already working on something, because I know you well enough to know that you don't rest on your laurels. And this is a mere stepping stone to the next challenge. So once again, thank you so much. Well done, my man. And
thank you, David.
It's only a pleasure. I was doing such a little while you were doing all the hard yards, but I was here and I was supportive. I would really like to say that I achieved my burpee challenge, my burpee goal, which was 1, but I haven't. So I'll try and do it before the 11th. I'll do it in stages. I'll do sort of the left side first, and then the right side, and then put it all together and send you the picture. Bruce, you take care, my man. And once again, a huge congratulations and well done from all of us who've been watching you.
Super, David. Thank you. And thank you, everybody who's listening. Yeah, thank you for your support. David, I can't thank you enough. You've helped me through this journey. You've helped me on the road. Just thank you so much. Thank you. It was a small amount, but I'm glad I was able to be there for you.